Hey everyone, good evening. It's your host CJ, and welcome to Objection Celebrity Court Chatter Evening Edition. We still have our poll up in the community post on YouTube if you guys want to go vote. I put up a poll in regards to when you guys wanted to see me come on because real life has been a little bit hectic. So, what would work for you guys best? Right now, vertical content is ahead, and as well as like every other day doing it. But Missy Abeja, shout out to Missy. She said maybe I should do like one day, one night, because some people can only come on at night. So we're kind of just testing things out. It's probably going to be a minute before I do vertical because I just got bit up on my neck by mosquitoes. So my neck is all swollen. Y'all should see it now. It's crazy. But anyways, we have a great show today. It's yet another simple favor. I was a little nervous for the show, and kind of the reason why I came on late is because I have so many tabs, and like I wasn't quite sure how to explain all this. So I'm gonna try my best. So bear with me. Um, Thank you, Christina, for putting the post up. So yeah, I'm gonna try and not sound like Charlie Day with all these connections. Um, and kind of be coherent about it. So we're gonna start off. Let's let everyone come on in here. Um, who else is in here? I don't see DFJ in here. She said, "Hey, DFJ, is she in here?" I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing all the comments. Um, hey, Jessica Lisi, how are you? So yeah, if you guys want to go vote for how I should be streaming, I'm gonna take all that into consideration. So the episode today is called Yet Another Simple Favor. Oh, Laura! She's got to get back to the family. Thank you for just doing a little tiny cameo. She's still with family, so hopefully we get her back next week. So cool. Thanks, Laura, for stopping in. Where was I? I don't know why I'm so nervous. I don't know if it's because I'm out of the loop of doing like the daily morning shows or because it's nighttime. I don't have like the coffee in me, but okay, so it's called Yet Another Simple Favor. You have Paul Feig. Is it Feig? Feig? How do y'all pronounce that? Paul Feig. On the left there, and then Blake, and then in the middle is Claire Abe. I guess how you say her name. I've been saying Ayoub, but I think it's Abe. Anyways, if I'm mispronouncing, y'all correct me in the chat. But yeah, Claire Abe, and you have a little banner for Barnard. I say Feig. Okay, we'll just say Feig. Barnard College, and some people have already clocked Barnard College in connection to Blake and Judge Liman, but we're just going to go over it again for those who have not heard that connection, because I hadn't heard it until I started looking all of this up. So we'll get into a little bit of that, but first I wanted to start off with a little bit of background on Claire. And we did an episode 2 days ago called Another Simple Favor that kind of made some connections. Oh, there's DFJ. I see her now. Hey, and hey, Jackie. And some of our members, Kenny Vixen is a member. Shout out to Kenny for being a member. And um, who else did I see in green over here? Or maybe it was just Kenny. The way that you guys can become a member, it's $2, I believe, or $2.99, and it helps with the StreamYard stuff. Because I, pay to get extra stuff to have the program going for y'all. And you could just hit I think it's like there's like a button that says join at the top if you wanted to become a member, and you also get one free super chat a month, so that way your comment is highlighted and doesn't get lost in the sauce. So those are the perks for now. We're going to come up with other perks later on once I get my schedule together. But anyways, back to this. What was that? Okay, so we're going to start off with a little bit of background on Claire, okay? So what we've discovered about Claire, and for those who don't know, she is the person who secretly recorded Steve Sarowitz, and she signed a declaration saying, like, this is what happened. She says that Justin Baldoni was verbally abusive, quote unquote. And let me actually put my banner up. for entertainment purposes, that she was quote unquote verbally abusive and filed this with the courts or whatever. So what we learned about Claire is that she comes from like very like affluent background, where her parents had money. She grew up in a kind of rich neighborhood. She went to Wellesley College, which is like a really like a college for rich people, I guess. And she a lot of people say like she kind of has like this sense of entitlement based on like how, what she grew up around and all that stuff. We also discovered that she went into therapy after writing the script. Her managers basically told her that it had too many female characters, it needed more male characters, and she like shut down and goes into therapy for like 4 years. And one of the things I discovered is in all of her interviews she always says like, she always shouts out therapy and boundaries, like those are my two favorite sports, it's all about therapy, therapy, therapy. So I found it really interesting. That was one tidbit. So all of this is just kind of yeah, the silver spoon type. Got it. There you go, Christina. Summed it up for me. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, DFJ. She's my favorite partner in true crime. Yeah, and sleuthing. We do a lot of snoothing together as well. I think our next true crime case is going to be, well, a lot of the cases ended up moving. We were going over which ones were coming up the other day. I forget, but anyways, yeah, I will definitely. I know Luigi Mangione has a couple interesting things that have popped up, and also on the Diddy front, there's been some updates as well, and the appeal and all that stuff. So we'll see what we get into with DFJ. Thank you for being here. She's also one of my mods, so I appreciate you. And Christina, of course, is one of my mods. Appreciate her. Uh, but anyways, let's get right into. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting right into all of this. It's a really juicy episode. This Barnard, I haven't seen anybody else clock this. But hopefully more people are talking about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the next slide. Hold on, you guys. Sorry. I should always have like the share screen available. So we're going to start off with this article here. Okay, so Claire Ayoub, 11, she's an alumni of, I guess, 2011, creates a feel-good film empire. And so Wellesley College, her college and her college magazines is constantly putting out articles about her. So this one is relevant. Here she is, the Sundance Film Festival. This one is relevant because it had so much information on like who she was, how the script was written, everything. And the script is for her movie Empire Waste, which was financed by Wayfarer, which Justin Baldoni is a part of. I'm kind of trying to give details for people who don't really follow it, because I know there's a lot of people who watch that don't follow, a lot of it. So I'm trying to also fill in some details for those, because I know most everyone here, we already know a lot of this stuff, but bear with me. So anyways, it had a lot of details in here, but one of the details that came up was here. In 2020, United Talent Agency approached Abe and Collins about representing the project and went on to introduce them to Wayfarer Studios, the full-service studio and production company co-founded by Justin Baldoni and Steve Sarowitz, whose mission is to develop and finance projects that serve as agents for social change. Wayfarer financed and produced Empire Waste alongside Abe's Try Anyway production. Some big name stars sign on to the movie: Rainn Wilson, Missy Pyle, Jolene Purdy, and Mia Kaplan. So one of the things that stood out to me was Rainn Wilson, because we know he's friends with Justin Baldoni, and I believe he's also Baha'i. And so from my understanding, or what I take from this, is that Justin probably got Rainn to sign on. Would Claire have gotten someone as big as Rainn Wilson on her own? I don't know. So that was like one of the tidbits. And a lot of this is, like I said, for entertainment purposes only. We're just kind of making connections where we see them. The sleuths have been sleuthing, because I'm just wondering like how it all went down. Why would she record it? And one of my biggest questions that we're going to get answered here, and I love how DFJ does it with the slides where she has the questions. Maybe I'll do like a little banner with the questions next time. But one of the questions that I just wouldn't stop bugging me was like, what did she get? Because I have this feeling that she got something in exchange. You guys remember what's his name? Brandon Sklenar. I clocked that early on. I was like, I think he got this movie, Housemaid's Tale or whatever, Handmaid's Tale, because of Paul Feig, blah, blah, blah. So later on, it turned out that, yeah, she begged Paul to give him the part. So that's where I came up with the Paul Feig connection. And oh boy, was it a connection. So anyways, we have that article with that little tidbit. And then we have this video that I'm going to play for you guys. Hopefully the audio works. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play it. Let me know if, so this, a little bit of background on this. This is a video where the host is talking about framing men, and then she responds. So I want you guys to listen to this, and then I want y'all to let me know in the comments what y'all think about this, okay?
If they were our daughter, right? Yeah. Really important.
Yeah. All right. So I don't want this to become a marital rape discussion because that'll take up the whole show, right? But we do have this text here, and this seems to be always the concern. How do you protect men from false accusations?
Yeah, this is a really fun one because you can be falsely accused of any crime, and it doesn't mean that we don't have laws. There are laws in place to handle false accusations, and that's it. We don't need anything special.
Also, I think looking at the statistics of false accusations versus actual accusations, it's so much smaller.
Especially in terms of marital.
I was going to say, right? It's so much smaller. Yeah. And looking at that is really important to say because it comes from a fear of someone's life being ruined, right? That's always what we hear. What if it ruins the life of a man? But you look at it, someone's life is already being ruined by being taken advantage of, by being harmed. So it's also looking at that and stepping back and going, let's look at the whole case and let's look at proof, right? Let's look at what our families say. Listen to the woman who's coming forward and saying, right, I was harmed in my home and I'm not safe here. Right?
So we've heard this. People say, well, since so few people make this accusation, why even have a law against it? What do you say to folks who say that?
Honestly, shame is a hell of a drug, right? Shame is very powerful in keeping people from speaking out. So just because people aren't talking about it doesn't mean it's not happening. And because it happens behind closed doors, it is a very silent killer, right? It's a silent harm. But feel free to take it away, Alicia.
Yeah, we also can't give you statistics.
Okay, so do you guys notice what she says there? And then she spins it. So he's talking about false accusations against men. And she's like, yes, they could harm a man and ruin his life. But then someone's already been harmed and their life has already been ruined. But that's under the assumption that the person making accusations it's a truthful accusation. So you see how she word salads her way through that because it doesn't make sense, right? If someone is being falsely accused, how is they're a victim if it's false? Because she's saying, well, the other person's life is already ruined. So, they're trying to say, well, it can ruin a man's life, but the other person's life is actually ruined. So it didn't make absolutely no sense. And this came out 6 months ago. So this was for International Women's Day in March. And she's talking about this. And this is when she was around Equality Bahamas, which apparently she says that she's known them for a decade or whatever. But I found some connections to the Bahamas with Robin Lively constantly vacationing there and Ryan and Blake, which I didn't really include here because I was like, okay, that's like, I'm going too far. Like she went to the Bahamas and they went to the Bahamas. Like people go to the Bahamas. But this is one of the places where she went right after February 18th. So we're going to go over the fact on how her Instagram there was really no articles being talked about her. After the movie premiered in September, there was a couple things that came out in October in regards to I think it was like when it went to streaming. And then we're going to look into the Instagram. I think that's what's coming up here in a little bit. But it was really weird that not much happened. And then right after that declaration, or, not the declaration, the first amended complaint dropped February 18th, all of a sudden, she was back out in the real world with screenings. She went to the Bahamas with Equality Bahamas to do a screening. And she did a screening as well at the college. So we're going to get into it. Let me just get through all these other little mini slides because I kind of had them in order. But then when I talk, it's like kind of out of order. But we'll get to those. But I just found it really interesting, this video where he's asking, like, what about men and false accusation? And she's dismissing it like, well, it doesn't matter because somebody was already hurt. It's like, well, no, if it was false, nobody was hurt. And they're really hurting the man. So I don't know. Let me look at y'all's comments and see. It's got to be painful to listen to a 30-minute recording of her. She's so performative and got your words. Girl, I listened to like probably 5 to 6 hours of interview. Like every single interview she's done over the last 3 days, I've listened to. And it's just crazy. It is bizarre stuff that she says. Literally, it's like she writes these like scripts and then just like regurgitates it. Like she says the same things in most of her interviews, like the therapy boundary thing, that line, how the set was so safe. She says that like ad nauseum. Every single interview, she talks about the set being safe. And I think it's like a dig at Baldoni. And because she, talked to Blake Lively and Blake said that the set wasn't safe, that she like purposely does it because it's just crazy how many times she name drops all of that. So yeah, that isn't false if she's acting like someone was hurt. Maybe she doesn't understand what false means. Yeah, she's like, oh, everyone always says that it hurts the man, but what about the woman? It's like, well, how is it hurting the woman? It's like she's insinuating that the woman is telling the truth, but we're talking about false allegations. That's what he said. What if the man has false allegations against him? So you can already see that she's like kind of like a man hater. Yes, she went to Germany also. Thank you, Jesse and Max, and shout out to them. I'm gonna feature some of their stuff here, and so I'll shout them out when we get to their stuff. So Justin told her no for the first time, and it was verbal abuse. Just a theory. Yeah, Christina, that is one of my theories as well. Because in one of her interviews, she talks about how there's too many chefs in the kitchen. It's one of the deleted interviews because everything that was on the Blacklist blog, I don't know if they just took down their whole blog. It seems like they did. But some of this stuff was recovered. Asshole Media recovered a really good article. I had recovered one article where it's called The Development Story. She's talking about how I got financed and all that stuff. And she talks about there being too many chefs in the kitchen, too many cooks in the kitchen. And so I don't know, it's really weird because I'm like, oh, well, what you're saying is kind of like what Blake did, but yet you're saying that that's not the way to do it. But also I could see why she would feel a certain way if somebody wanted to like, do things differently than she wanted. K Bella 25, thank you for being here, K Bella. It says, when did we get to a point where perpetrators are now the ones standing up for victims? Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and get into the WME connection. So this is a screenshot from the deleted article. We were able to retrieve the deleted article. Asshole Media put it on their blog. It says that Claire was hanging out at WME Lounge and hiding it because this article here, it's called Claire Ayoub Reflections on the 2020 Sundance. It was from February 20th, 2020. And it talks about the 2020 Cassian Ells Independent Screenwriting Fellowship, and the recipient was Claire. But keep that name in mind, Cassian Ells, because it's going to be really relevant here coming up soon. So as you guys can see, there was a 404 error, and they couldn't find it. But the way that it was retrieved was through the Wayback Machine. So if you guys ever come up into like where the page is not available, you can, I'm sure a lot of sleuths know, but just for those who don't know, if you want to sleuth something where the page isn't available, you can go to the Wayback Machine. And we've used the Wayback a lot in this case when it came to, who was it? Was it Deadline that kept changing the article? And you can see the different ways when the article was changed and stuff. So anyway, so there's that little tidbit. And then, okay, so this is the WME Horizon Awards, and they're presented by co-founders Cassian Ells, Lynette Howell Taylor, and Christina Vachon, and are associated with the WME Lounge during the Sundance Film Festival. WME is the agency where the awards are hosted, but the awards themselves are a project of the co-founders who grant awards to and mentor emerging female filmmakers. So here's the connection to WME. She has connections through the Sundance Film Festival and Cassian Ells and her being the recipient. So here's the, why did I put this article? Oh, so this is where it talks about how she was the recipient of the award down here. Let me see, right here. Cassian has created a transformational opportunity for special writers. And it says right here, previous fellows include Claire Ayoub. So she basically has gotten this award from the Blacklist and Cassian Ells as well. Well, she actually didn't get an award from the Blacklist. The Blacklist thing was she got to write in their lab with like big writers like Legally Blonde and stuff like that. And then also more on the Sundance Film Festival. It says it's an invite-only lounge hosted by the talent and sports agency William Morris Endeavor WME at the festival. It serves as a private gathering space for WME's clients, agents, and managers to connect and network away from the public eye during the festival. It's not open to the general public, but it's a significant industry hub where many high-profile attendees congregate. The lounge is a private invite-only space for WME talent and staff to network and socialize during the festival. Now, we have, let me see, where did I put the article? Here we go. Okay, so we're getting to there. So this is what the WME lounge looks like. This is just to show you guys what it looks like. It's like a little lounge. And then here we have Claire at the Sundance Film Festival. So that's where she attended. And so here's the article that got erased. So thank you to Asshole Media, who's, I believe, in the chat. Claire Ayoub's deleted article. It was posted today through the Wayback Machine. And this is basically a play-by-play of when she received that award. And so it shows that she was at the WME lounge with Cassian and his daughter, or is it a she? Is Cassian a she? With the daughter and Cassian, and she talks about how she was at the Sundance headquarters and all this stuff. They go to a after party for Aubrey Plaza's thing. They have a sushi dinner. But down here, let's see. It says, when it comes to investing in film, how do points work? Is it better to diversify my fundraising options versus putting all my eggs in one financial basket? How does it all work? So this is who she's asking, is Cassian, during the Sundance Film Festival. And so we learn later on. So it just talks about her story. So if you guys want to check out that whole read, it's a pretty good read. But yeah, it's pretty long, as you can see. It's basically her day-to-day and all that stuff. But it's where she's asking him about the finances and stuff. And ultimately, it says here, in 2020, this is from that first article I showed you guys when we first started the show. United Talent Agency approached Ayoub and Collins about representing the project and went on to introduce him to Wayfarer. So you guys remember when I showed you guys that part? And then they took to TikTok to find the rest of their cast or whatever. But so we have UTA, so she has a WME connection. And then her talent agents at UTA, I believe that's who represents her, is UTA, because there was an interview that said that she left her managers and went to UTA to get the film script done. So there's that tidbit. I'm going to stop for comments real quick and to get a drink, and then we're going to get into the Instagram, which is what I sleuthed out last night. And yes, please hit the like. Thank you so much at Just Khaleesi. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed and you're just coming in, also hit the subscribe. It says if her favorite sport was therapy, then we're all losing. As a therapist, my favorite sport is not therapy. Therapy itself can be an addiction for someone who needs constant validation. And yeah, and that's why, like, you know, I try, I'm Christian, so I try not to be like talking smack or whatever, but she came off as a pick-me, like literally comes off as a pick-me. And someone who needs constant validation, someone whose self-esteem is low. And I feel like those are the type of people that Blake and Ryan prey on, is like these people that could be like, look what I can do for you. Look, like I see you. And they love bomb him with clothes or sleepovers, Isabella Ferreira, movie deals, like whatever. Like we've seen it, and it's for entertainment purposes only. But I mean, a lot of it isn't entertainment, because we have seen, Blake bombard Isabella with clothes and jewelry, and we did see her get Brandon the part for Paul's movie, as well as her other co-star from Another Simple Favor, Maximilian. What is his name? He's got some like cool name. I forget, if y'all know in the chat, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The guy from Another Simple Favor. She also got him a job there. So, yeah, I do feel that they took advantage of this woman. I do. They may have met her at that lounge, I imagine. Who knows if they were around? But this is where the connection gets kind of solid for me, okay, you guys? So I started to go on her Instagram. So here we go. This is where the show really starts, okay? Because from here on out, it's juicy. All right. So last night, a couple of us sleuths were sleuthing, and we were talking about the timeline. And I was so focused on the August timeline because I'm like, you know, she was doing this in August. She had the recording. They made her record it. We're still not sure. We've been debating whether or not she recorded this on her own or whether she was prompted to or whatever. One of the reasons why we think that that it might have been prompted or something is because under Liz Plank's Instagram, all of a sudden Claire's likes in August go from like a couple likes a year to like literally 12 likes, like super quickly. Like her likes add up. I think it's like 14 and then 15 and then 12. So she has a bunch of likes during that month or whatever. During those weeks. And it's not her typical behavior on liking. And then right after that, she goes back to like just usual liking here and there. But in August, it pumps up. So that was one of the theories. But anyway, so a lot of people thought that it was more towards like the February time. Like, why would, if she had it recorded in August, why would Blake not put it in her original complaint, right? And it got me thinking like, okay, yeah, why wouldn't she? I was like, maybe the timeline, instead of looking at the August timeline, maybe we should be looking at the December through February timeline or even March to see like what could she have gotten out of it or how she approached Blake or like what happened after like September when the movie came out and all that stuff and she recorded and all that. Like what is happening? So Blake filed her first complaint December 23rd, I believe, right before Christmas, right? So this is where I started on her Instagram. This is December 16th, 2024. I found this really interesting because she says, I'm Connecticut bound for the next adventure of At Empire Waste Film and Try Anyway Productions. Fun news to come this winter. So I was like, okay. Fun news. What could possibly be the fun news? And she never like really gets into what the fun news are, but I'm wondering at this point, does she already know that something was going to come up or that she had something in her back pocket or that she could like use something? And what I found also interesting in this post is Blue Fox Entertainment is hearting her stuff, right? Well, then if you go to the next post, so this was like a post in January 2nd after New Year's. This is just a crossword clue puzzle. Nothing interesting here. But then you get to this post. It was from Blue Fox Entertainment. And it was when the DVD was coming out, I guess, on February 10th, right? So this is 8 days before that the first amended complaint drops. I found it interesting that Blue Fox Entertainment, who is a distributor, tagged everyone in here except for Justin Baldoni. And I was like, that's weird because a lot of people said, oh, because he was having controversy and all that stuff, the lawsuit had dropped, they didn't want to associate with him. But Wayfarer was also named in it, and they tagged Caliph, who I believe is the president, or he does something for Wayfarer where he does production as well. He's part of Wayfarer. So I was like, it doesn't really make any sense why they would. But that was just like another little like side Easter egg, whatever. And Blue Fox Entertainment does not follow Justin Baldoni, but they do file Wayfarer Theaters and Wayfarer Studios. So I don't know. I just thought that was weird. Like, was she like Blake and did she poison other people against him? Because I know that everyone on this cast, except for 2 people, still follow Justin Baldoni. And those other 2, I'm not sure if they followed him to it like in the beginning or not. So anyways, but here's where it gets juicy. This is the juicy part. So if y'all got popcorn, y'all got a snack, this is where it gets juicy. Athena Film Festival, okay? If anyone's just hopping on, like this is the perfect time. So you have Barnard College being tagged up here, Claire Ayoub and Empire Waste Film being tagged. Barnard College, New York City. You have Woman in Hollywood over here that is sponsoring it, I guess. You have Barnard. Artemis Rising Foundation. I really didn't get into the Artemis Rising Foundation, so if any sleuths want to see if there's any connection there, by all means. But I mostly focused on the Athena Film Festival, Barnard, and then a little bit in Woman in Hollywood. I don't know if that's a legit connection, but the Athena one for sure. So as a background story, she could not get any streaming in New York City, okay? Because there's a post where she's like, we still can't get any screenings in New York City or whatever. I found this interesting because she says, New York City, wish you could have seen Empire Waste on the big screen. Dreams come true on March 8th. We are so honored to be a part of the Athena Films Festival's 15th anniversary from March 6th through 9th at Barnard College. Okay, mind you that aside from this, everything else that she's going to start screening her film in, or whatever her big project that she ends up announcing is that she wants, to screen it to nonprofits and like kids or whatever. It's all at like little tiny libraries and nothing like super fancy. But these two things that happened right after, this is February 18th. I believe this is the day that it dropped. Was it the 18th or the 19th? If anybody in the chat can let me know. Was it the 18th or the 19th? Let me get a charger too real quick, because I don't know why I didn't just charge it. Let me grab a charger real quick, because my laptop's on 10%. But anyways, okay, so does anybody, the 19th, okay, so the 19th is when it drops, so this is the day before it drops, and she's announcing this, and I was like, okay, I'm super curious about this, the Athena Film Festival, okay. Well, I end up finding, so at first I sleuthed out The Woman in Hollywood, and here's the newsletter, her newsletter. Under the search, I typed in Blake Lively. They wrote about 12 articles on Blake Lively, but they're all under a paid subscribers wall or whatever. The only one that I could kind of see was this one. It was on April 18th, and it was about the movie A Simple Favor, or Another Simple Favor, which I thought was interesting. So not like a big connection there, because, okay, well, so what? They just wrote about her. But I found that one a little bit interesting. But this is the one that I found way more interesting. It was the Barnard College connection. So a lot of people had already pointed out this Barnard College connection through Judge Liman and Sean Levy's daughters, Abby, and I forget what Sean's daughter's name is. But some people like took it down because they're like, oh, we don't want to involve the kids. Apparently, Judge Liman's daughter and Sean Levy's daughters were sorority sisters or something at this college. But there's a ton of people that are adjacent to Barnard. Seems like Judge Liman's mom and wife went there. It also seems like Isabella Ferrer's aunt went there. And so some sleuths had already sleuthed this out. But I found it interesting that Blake was connected to Barnard. She was the guest speaker because Sean Levy was being, like they were giving him an award or something. He was an honoree. Serena Levy was, or Sean Levy and Serena Levy were honorees that evening. And so this had already kind of been sleuthed out by the Reddit community, where it says family alumni connections between Judge Lewis, Sean Levy and his daughter, Sophie Levy, and Abigail Lyman. And so, again, they've already made kind of like this connection to Barnard. But it's really interesting when you take into account that is where they chose to present this film at Barnard. Like, she never had, as far as I know, I sleuthed it and I didn't see any connections of her to Barnard College. Was this what she got in return for that declaration? Were they like, we will stream this at this coveted whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this is all, like, for entertainment purposes. I'm just like trying to piece the puzzle pieces together. These are just pieces to the puzzle. You guys connect them how you want, or if you think it's, nothing burgers or whatever, but this is just what I was sleuthing out. And then I go into Athena Film Festival and Paul Feig's name comes up. And he was honored in 2016, but not only was he honored in 2016, but he was also the co-chair in 2018, as you can see right here, Paul Feig. And he was the co-chair in 2019. As you can see, where's his name? Right here. Here's his name in 2019. So I'm like, could she have called in a favor from Paul? Could Blake, we know that she has called in favors previously from Paul, right? You guys remember that article where Paul says, like, yeah, she asked me, could I meet with him? Like, you really need to hire him, da, da, da. Could she have said, hey, you really should include her film in this, at the Athena Film Festival. Can you put in a good word? Blah, blah, blah. This and that. And so then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm reaching whatever. And then I saw this Facebook post as well, which was around the same time too, February 24th, y'all. And it's the New York Film Academy. This past week, our storytellers had the opportunity to screen Empire Waits with filmmaker Claire Ayoub. I'm like, okay. And then I realized that Paul Feig was also a guest speaker for the NYFA. So it's like, it's either these are really big coincidences and it's just a small world. And I can accept that if that's what it is. But it's just, it seems really odd that that came out February 19th. And then all of a sudden she had 2 screenings in New York when before she couldn't get screenings, given that these aren't theatrical screenings, they're for students or whatever. But I don't know, y'all. Let me go look at the chat to see what y'all are thinking. Like, am I reaching or like what? Um, let's see. Let's see what y'all are saying. Oh, we're talking about the milk jugs. Who follows Robin Lively? Who follows Robin Lively? Haha. Um, let's see. We're talking about the recording. Okay, so what do you guys think about this? I don't think there are coincidences. She sold her soul to the devil. Hey Tiffany, I hadn't seen you around. Thank you for coming to support. Yeah, so oh, Blue Fox follows who? I'm so lost. Haha. It's just there's so many side conversations, so I'm trying to figure it out. Um, about Robin Lively. So wait, Robin Lively follows Blue Fox? Is that what you're saying? Or Blue Fox follows Robin? Oh, Justin Baldoni doesn't have his tags turned on. Maybe they weren't turned on then either. But it's not that. Somebody pointed that out. There's not even an at next to it. It's just his name typed out. So even if he had it turned off, it would have had at and it just wouldn't like be, visible or whatever. But oh, Blue Fox has worked with Robin. Interesting. Okay. That is interesting. Blake's sister, yeah, and that's what I'm saying also, like, and then Robin had her birthday party at the Bahamas. I don't know. So anyways, that's the tea there. I don't know if you guys think that there's a legit connection. If you're part of Replay Crew, or even if you're not, drop it in the comments when this is done and let me know what y'all think. If this is a plausible connection, could she have in exchange for signing that declaration and giving them the recording? Could she have gotten these 2 screenings at the NYFA and at Barnard College? And what do y'all think about this Barnard College connection? So we're gonna move on to the next connection that was also shout out to Asshole Media. I believe this is off their TikTok. Here on Claire Ayoub's website says, I am a writer, director, copywriter, and public health nerd. One of her clients is the New York Times. I wrote and researched a series of 10 direct response videos for the New York Times in a campaign called Follow the Questions. Our goal was to showcase both the range of coverage and high quality journalism that makes the New York Times worthy of your subscription dollars. I beg to differ, but yeah, I think this is a Reddit, her post on Reddit, I believe, or someone's post on Reddit. But yeah, so that's where this screenshot came from. So this is her New York Times connection. So now Claire is connected to the New York Times. She wrote for them. WME, she was at the WME lounge mingling with all the WME people. Barnard College, which Sean Levy's an alumni, and Paul Feig, was connected through the Athena Film Festival where he was co-chair, where Blake Lively also was a guest speaker. So we've now attached her to all of these things. And another thing that I found interesting was that in February, all of a sudden, all these articles started popping up about her. Like this one, February 25th. It was like literally from like February 18th to like February 25th. You all of a sudden see a spike in Google on articles about her. And what's weird is that Leslie Magazine in her school had just written an article about Empire Waste in December. So it's like, and now they're coming up with another article in February about her. And one of the things that all of these articles emphasized in February was just how safe the set was and how she ran a safe set. So I don't know if that was a dig at Baldoni or what, but that is what we have here so far. I wanted to quickly shout out assholemedia.com. If you go to assholemedia.wordpress.com, this is where you can find all of their stories and stuff on this case. And they're the ones that also just retrieved that lost article that had a lot of little nuggets and stuff there too. And then we're also going to finish off here with this Not actually Golden's, the judge's power move, and the Claire Ayoub recording strategy. So Not Actually Golden made a video about what happened today. So if you guys are not aware, the recording that was supposed to be unsealed, yesterday DFJ called and a couple people went down to the courthouse and even emailed the chambers. And they're like, well, where's the recording? Why is it not unsealed? Like, can we get it? And they were basically saying that there was no recording filed and they didn't have access to it. So today, Judge Liman probably, got irritated from everybody, harassing not even harassing, like we have the right to know. But he probably just was like, like, I don't want people, going to the clerks or whatever. Like, let's just, yeah, that's what she was saying. Like, stop harassing the clerk, which I don't think it was harassment. So that was just Nag's words. That wasn't my words. We have the right to know as, public citizens what's going on. But basically it says the judge is reminding both sides that sanction filings are of public interest. If Lively wants to use the recording to support sanctions, the public gets to hear it. And if Sarowitz wants it buried, too bad. Nobody's backpedaling now. But I don't know. I don't think NAG's up to date with this because Sarowitz never wanted it buried. They were the ones who said it should be unsealed. We want to see the context. We want to see everything. So I don't know if NAG is not following a lot of the case. It says why her declaration was so vague. It says Claire Ayoub's declaration never really detailed what was said in the call. Likely intentional, adding dialogue could have been hearsay and inadmissible. Even the recording itself is hearsay. Well, some lawyers are saying that that's not accurate, that it's not considered hearsay. So I don't know if it would be or not because it seems like it wouldn't be because it's recorded, but I don't know. Different lawyers have had different opinions on it. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure how that works. And then it says the team purposely gave as little details as possible to avoid legal exposure because her theory is that because it may have been recorded illegally, that they never were going to like produce it, that they were just kind of putting it in there to be like, this is what was said and there is proof of it, but they never intended to produce it. Because I think once you produce it, there's like, if it was illegal, there'll be like criminal implications for producing it. So I don't know. I honestly don't think that it was recorded illegally because that would be stupid of her to hand it over if it was recorded illegally because then she'd have, but then again, I mean, we've seen, who was it, Khaleesi? Like dumb criming, don't be criming. We've seen some dumb criming Khaleesi, right? Like remember with Donna Adelson so it could have been, Claire's father is Thomas Abe, chief medical staff at Norwalk Hospital. I know her parents were gynecologists or something, aren't they? Because she said she was a gyno kid or was just one of her parents. So yeah, so that was kind of Nag's perspective on it. Maybe she edited out from the live. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up on it, but there's like 4 different conversations going, so I'm like trying to figure out like who cut what out from the live. I thought I was on that stream, but I must have missed that part. She should clip it. What clip? She's on their website. Okay, I'm lost on that one. If y'all want to update me down here. I'm not criming, you're criming, no criming. As I'm saying, like she might have been criming and recorded it illegally, but like, would you literally sign a declaration saying like you were criming? You wouldn't. So I honestly don't think that it was recorded illegally. I think it was probably recorded somewhere where it was a one-party consent state. What AI summaries? They make up quotes that don't exist. What are we talking about with the AI summaries? Yes, please remember to like the stream. Thank you, Khaleesi. I appreciate it. In the words of my hero from the show NCIS, there are no such things as coincidence. Special Agent Leroy Gibbs. Yes, I love it. I honestly don't think it's a coincidence. And honestly, this might be the last time I talk about oh, I'm reading an AI summary. Oh, is that what this is? I thought somebody like took the time to timestamp it. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, thank you for letting me know, DFJ. Now I know. Because I've seen a lot of these on Reddit. I thought that it's just somebody taking the time to do the timestamps. So anyways, everyone has until Friday to figure out how this recording if when it surfaces. Some lawyers are saying that they might pull the motion and that so that they don't have to show it. There's a lot of what ifs. And one of the things that DFJ pointed out that I think is like one of the biggest things that should be pointed out is the fact that it doesn't have Blake or Ryan's name anywhere in quotations. I found that interesting. Because then where's the proof that he was talking about them? And in what context was he? Because that's the thing. Like, they were so vague. Even with the verbal abuse stuff, they were super, super, super vague. So yeah. Most employment contracts state that they will sue you if you record them. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't understand why you would want to take down the hand that feeds you, because Empire Waste was a producer and is part of the contracts and stuff. So they must have had several contracts with them and stuff. And they must still be involved in like the film itself, right? Or does your name get taken off of it like once like the screen running is done? How does that work with production? Oh, they did one on a video I was on and made up quotes that I never said. Oh my God, DFJ, that's so crazy. Okay, well, thanks. Shout out to DFJ for letting me know that these Reddit things are AI summaries. I literally have been reading these as like Bible, thinking like somebody took the time. Because I know Ludwig usually does the timestamps, and I think he does them manually. Oh, joking about milkshakes and milk jugs. Okay, so I missed that joke. It says, I don't understand why the judge is making Wayfarer help with getting the audio out. Do they even have a copy of it? There's different things going around, Tiffany. Some people are saying that there is a copy of it, and some people are saying that there's some lawyers that are saying like the judge had to have a copy of it because he referenced it. But then other people are like, he referenced what Gottlieb referenced. He didn't reference what he actually saw. And from what I read, from what the judge, the thing that he put out today, it basically sounded like they don't have it and that it needs to be submitted. So I don't know. A lot of people are like, oh, the judge had it in his chambers. It was sent as a CD file or whatever. I know DFJ today said that what's possibly might happen is that they hand in a physical file and then we have to go ask for it from records. I think what Liman was saying, that Ezra needs to find a way to make it publicly accessible and Wayfarer needs to agree because the bait stamps is BL, so it was from Lively's discovery. Yes. So he's just saying like facilitate that for the public, I guess. Even in one party states, it can be considered criminal if you record someone with the intent of making the recording public and harming people. And that's the thing that I don't get. Like, why would you want to harm Wayfarer Studios when they're the ones that are like, it's the same thing with Blake. Why does she want to harm Justin and Wayfarer when they were the ones involved in the movie? Like, one of the things that I was like, she didn't want him to market the movie, but at the same time, his single post, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. His single post on this, I'm going to try and pull it up. His single post got 21,000 or I don't, it was let me just, I don't want to say a number. Let me just try and be more accurate. I'll pull up his Instagram, but he only posted one thing on Instagram. And then her posts were only getting like 300 views or Instagram. Sorry, guys. So I'm like, he was getting thousands of views and she was only getting like a couple hundred views. Like, how much bigger would her film have been had he been able to, so here it is, 21.2K is how many likes his post got. He's got an audience of 4.1 million followers, okay? Now, if we go back to Claire's post, if we go back to Claire's, she has 4,000 followers. And look at this. 2,000 likes, 113, 558. Well, let's go down to like Empire Waste stuff. Like when it premiered. Let's go all the way down. Dang it, it's loading. But look, 100, 199. Okay, it might not load, but let me see if I can go to the actual Empire Waste film. How many followers that has? Did it freeze? Sorry, let me take this comment off. Sorry. How many followers does 2,000 followers? And you're telling me that you want Justin Baldoni, who has 4 million followers, to not be part of the marketing? Like, I don't get it, because he was, quote, verbally abusive. But like, what did he say that was so bad? Like, I just don't see anything that could have been so bad, especially because I clocked it in one of my last videos that he was only there from November 17th. Okay, so the filming started in October, right? And he was on set on November 17th. So there's no way he could have been banned, because he went to the set on November 17th, because you see him at the airport wearing the same outfit that he was on the set. It's this little black vest and a green shirt. And she hearts when he says only 5 more days left. She hearts that post. And so the only explanation is that she did something to him that last time he went, and she was just being fake when she hearted it. And then what, like, he was banned for the last 7 days of filming? It doesn't add up. Because if he was banned, he wouldn't have been there on the 17th. So it couldn't have been in October when they banned him. So when was he banned? Was he banned in December? Because they did say that the filming lasted through December. So maybe it was just that portion that ended in 5 days. But the math just isn't mathing for me with him being away from the set. But if you guys look at her Instagram, besides those 2 screenings, and that's another thing I want to keep pointing out, besides those 2, she's literally streaming at like local libraries. That's it. Aside from these 2 big ones, the Athena Film Festival. And so I don't know. To me, it seems like that was like, hey, here you go. We'll give that to you. And connected her to the Barnard College people and to all these, people, because she wasn't getting her event, her movie. And look, she's screening it at libraries for free now, mostly in her hometown in New Canaan, Connecticut. And then there's the coloring book, which it's giving Colleen Hoover. But yeah, so I don't understand. Like, even with Blake Lively, could the film have been bigger? Yes, it made all this money, but could it have been bigger if she would have marketed right with like the domestic violence stuff? Because a lot of people didn't want to go watch it because they're like, it's in bad taste. Like, the promo turned them off. Like, what do you mean? It's a movie about domestic violence. So if they had leaned in on the no more stuff and all that, could it have made more money? And could it have been more impactful? So that's what I don't understand, y'all. Like, why would you bite the hand that feeds you? Or like in Blake's case, why? Like, nothing was egregious enough. Because sometimes I tell myself, like, even if what she says is true, right? Like, let's just say that what she says is true. It's not egregious enough to ruin a whole man's life, ruin her own life, like to make this big old deal. It's not like she had to work with him for forever. It's like you work with people. And the fact that she said that she'd been, mistreated before, but she never had said anything. And then she just chose to do it to Baldoni, who's like one of the nicest guys ever. That's why I just don't believe it happened. I just don't. That's just my opinion only for entertainment purposes. Oh, okay. So he serves as the board of trustees for that hospital. Interesting. Guess whose dad just became a board member? Oh, her dad? Of the Sexual Misconduct Review Board of the Diocese of Bridgeport. Huh. Christina says, I think they all have the recording, but it just isn't on the docket. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think anyone has seen it, because from what I understood was that like they don't really need to file it right away. But then again, that was ChatGPT who said that, so I don't know. Oh, that's her dad. Okay. Oh, it's because of money, my innocent CJ. It's about money. Okay, K Bella. Well, yeah. I mean, who knows? Like, I'm going to do an episode maybe this weekend. Let me know in the chat if you're part of Replay Crew, or after you guys, I let y'all go here soon. If you guys are interested, but I already have the thumbnail and everything for it. It's called We Have to Go Back, because I want to go back. I want to go all the way back. I want to rehash all the old stuff and bring it all out again. Why? Because there's so many like little Easter eggs, like this one. She's saying, money, my dear. It's like, I want to go back to see like what exactly happened? Like with the Warren Zavala declaration, where was he? Like, you know, he said he was on set twice. Well, what was the time frame? If you go to the timeline info website, the lawsuitinfo.com, that timeline, I want to go back through it because I want to show where Warren Zavala was involved now that his declaration has come out, which times he went, because one of the times was in April and then the other time is in August, almost when it's almost going to be, I mean, not August. Okay. One of the times is like when they were in New Jersey, and then the other time is right before the end. And one of the things, I think I reposted it, it was like about how it had to do with the dailies, because she says she showed Warren and her other agent wanted to see it, like the ones that you had shown Warren. So anyways, I want to go back to that. I want to go back to the Danny Greenberg stuff and all the stuff he witnessed, because when he used the term extortion, he wasn't using it lightly, because if you go back to the story, the extortion part, let me pull this up here so we're not just looking at Empire Waste. He's the one who was told by the WME agent, like, or by Ryan, the gloves are going to come off. So he witnessed it firsthand. Like, that's the crazy part. Yes, it says Claire's not all there upstairs, in my opinion, because it shouldn't be about her. It's about all the other people. What difference does it make for Baldoni to promote online? Or she didn't want him to be part of the marketing, but yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Well, like, they have no regard for other people. Same thing with Blake. She had no regard for other people. She didn't have no regard for texting the costume designer at 3 a.m. to tell them to change the costumes. Like, and the one thing that has stuck with me lately, like whenever I start to feel sorry for Blake or whatever, is what Alicia on TikTok said. The woman who's the script supervisor who worked with Blake, and how she says that she made people feel subhuman because she wouldn't even acknowledge them as humans, wouldn't look at them, wouldn't. And so anytime I'm reminded of that, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's not good. And that's why I want to like stay on their necks and go back, because now that we know what we know, and looking at the, I know Bocce the other day did a CRD reading. I've been comparing the FAC to the SAC, and the differences, and especially when it comes to Sarowitz, how all of a sudden she included the part with his, like, oh, he was wearing this t-shirt and it's so hypocritical that like he doesn't act like that in real life, but yet he's wearing this shirt. It's so hypocritical. And one of the things I posted today, here, I'll pull it up, what I posted today, that I was like, oh, you want to talk hypocritical? One of the things I posted today was how hypocritical it was that in the documents, she's like, she doesn't want Baldoni recording her. So apparently, I don't know what happened where there was a secret recording or something with Baldoni, because I'm thinking like maybe it was just like the film rolling while they were doing a scene or something. I don't think there was anything nefarious on his part. But let's see right here. I said, Blake Lively in paragraph 123 of FRC, referencing Mr. Baldoni, she said, you just can't record people without asking. And then literally a couple paragraphs down, like what, 46 paragraphs down, she uses Claire Ayoub's secret recording in paragraph 169. She is a walking contradiction. I was like, bravo, you effing hypocrite. Because I'm like, you want to talk about Sarowitz being a hypocrite because he's wearing this shirt that you're saying, oh, doesn't embody what he was doing behind the scenes. It's like, by the time Sarowitz says what he says, that's why I want to do a whole episode with y'all. I want to like go through it all, because I want you guys to like see how it escalated and got to that point. Like, I know some of y'all know, but like just to read it in real time, like from June until August, when he's supposedly a secret recording, like what crazy crap they were going through. You know, people were showing up at the Deadpool premiere, approaching WME agents, talking about how Baldoni was an SP. People were coming up to Baldoni's agent, Danny, telling him like he needs to be ousted. Like, they were literally talking about the gloves are going to come off. You remember the mafia style text? Like, these people were not playing. And so at that point, they had pushed them way, way, way too far. They had been making accommodations for them. And so when I see those comments, and yeah, it was a bad simile that he used. I mean, I wouldn't have used that simile, but you know, what's the difference between the gloves will come off? He didn't really mean that he was going to go and beat them up. Ryan didn't mean he was going to go beat them up. The gloves are going to come off and he's going to fist fight them. It was just a simile, right? Same thing with the description that what's his name gave, Steve Sarowitz. Anyone got a connection to anyone that knows how to look up banking in the Bahamas? I mean, I'm just saying. And then she was traveling a whole bunch all of a sudden. So I don't know. Best thing Co ever did with the soda cubes. That was unhinged. Boots on the ground investigation. Let's go to the Bahamas. I don't know. Like, the Bahamas was probably one of the weakest ones that I had because I was like, yeah, everybody travels to the Bahamas. But it was just really weird that they chose to ask that question in that the Bahamas little interview podcast or whatever, where they were like, from Bahamas Equality. Like, what if it's a fake accusation or whatever? Oh, wow. Sorry, Tiffany. I watched it thinking it was a rom-com 3 weeks after my sister's boyfriend had tried to unalive her. It was awful. I would have never watched it at the time had I known. Yeah, I remember thinking that it was like a rom-com or something. When I was on the phone with SDNY and they said there is no record of the recording, CJ's like, can you ask him to clarify? Yeah, I was like, did you already hang up? She's like, can you ask him for clarification? Like, what do you mean there's no recording? Like, well, where is it? Like, yeah, I was so sad for it because I was like impressed that I was like, dang, you really just woke up on a Monday trying to call. Or was it Tuesday? It was Tuesday. Trying to call, like you were about it. And so were a lot of other people who were like, because I honestly was just gonna wait for whenever the docket drop. I don't be thinking that far ahead. So thank you for the super sleuths. Because I do credit the super sleuths for Judge Liman. I mean, I've never seen him this fast do something like that. Aw, she says your heart is too pure. What makes you feel sorry for Blake? Well, as a Christian, sometimes I feel like I go too hard on her. Like, that's not like that's why I think it makes me upset that like she takes me to that level. Because especially Claire and her lately have taken me to a level that's like unlike me. Like I don't talk about people like that. Like I'm not like, bull like, because I do. I'll call Claire like a pick me girl. Like I'll be like, she's such a pick me. And then I'll think to myself, like, oh dang, like that's not a Christian thing to say or whatever. But then again, I'm like, their behaviors and what they did to people and how they're ruining people, like, I don't know. Sometimes I get mad that they push me to that level. And I'm like, dude, y'all should have just let it go, went y'all's own ways. Your movie made money. And same thing with Claire. It's like, you didn't have to deal with Justin for forever. Let him market the movie, get your bag, and move on. That's it. Like, I just don't, I don't think that even if the things that they said, oh, he yelled and he looked at me too long, or his kisses were too long while we were doing a scene. Do those things justify ruining a whole man's life and the lives of his kids and his wife and everybody around him? Like, it's just, Patricia says, I don't feel an iota of sympathy for BL. Well, it creeps in here and there, but then I have to remind myself of Mafia Style. That's another one that I remind myself where she's like, oh, we're Mafia Style. And I do have this theory that's a tinfoil theory. I'm going to say allegedly. I do have this theory that, and I know that Jesse and Max too, I was talking to them a little bit, where 2019 is a really crazy year for all these people because Liz Plank, Justin Baldoni, Claire, even Alex Sachs is involved. But during that time, when he got the rights to the movie, sometimes I think it was like pre-planned. But then obviously there's holes in that story if it's pre-planned or whatever. But I feel like they saw like a money grab because when you see that Steve Sarowitz is a billionaire, like, wouldn't you, like, I don't know, people who are crazy like that, not a normal person, but wouldn't a crazy person want to, either blackmail or try to take advantage of? Or why do you think Blake all of a sudden was asking for all this wardrobe and all this stuff? Like, she's like, oh, we're being funded by a billionaire. Like, it's an unlimited budget. That's what I think. I think she didn't, thank you, Christina. CJ has a huge heart. Yeah, I do. And that's why sometimes I have to take breaks too, because it's so dark. Like, even with the Claire stuff, I was like, I think I'm out of the Batcave after this, because to me, I got my answer. My Roman Empire, and I saw someone say take a drink of water every time I say Roman Empire. My Roman Empire was this, so sip, y'all. It was, what did she get in return? Is there any proof of anything that she could have gotten in return? And so I feel satisfied with this Barnard College thing. I feel like the connections are there. And, I'm kind of done with it until the recording comes out, because I stayed up a couple nights just sleuthing, and I'm like, even with Blake, I'm like, you got me what, 10 months in, still sleuthing on your case? Like, we could have been doing so like all kinds of other stuff, yet she's got the world hooked on this case, you know? So those kind of things like make me upset because I'm like, dang, we got to go into the depths of hell to try and figure out why these demons are doing what they're doing. And it's hard. It says narcs always surround themselves with good people, says Khaleesi. I feel sorry for the people who actually suffered through Bale's actions. And that's the thing that I keep thinking about with Alicia when she was like, they asked her who's like the meanest that you've ever like experienced. And I think she said Keira Knightley or somebody. She said a couple of actors and actresses that she's like, oh, they were kind of like rude or mean or, you know, like she's like, and they were like, were they worse or better than Blake? Like where was anybody worse than Blake? And they're like, no one. Her response was like, no one was worse than Blake because being mean to someone, at least you're acknowledging that they're there. She didn't even acknowledge people. So that's just the type of person she is. Whereas Justin Baldoni, you saw him going into every room and like really taking notice of people, getting down to their levels. I'm going to play this video on the outro here of him on the set of Empire Waste. One of the actresses wanted to call her little sister to meet Justin Baldoni, and they fangirled and everything. And that's just the kind of person he is, you know? Let's just keep going. There is so much collateral damage, says Christina, and a lot of them are good people or victims of abuse. Yeah. Then she shouldn't act like a pick-me then. Yeah, exactly. Like, don't make me call you a pick-me. But what really made me think that she was a pick-me was with all the likes when like all of a sudden in August, like she's just liking everything. I'm like, it seemed like a parasocial type of relationship. Maybe she was trying to make fetch happen and, you know, trying to get close to Liz. And I still don't know if she knew about it because someone else was, it was Little Nomad. She was telling me that during this time, late August, there was protests in Chicago, and Steve Sarowitz is from Chicago. There was Palestinian protests. And so she's like, is that how the conversation came up or whatever? And a lot of the posts that she liked from Liz Plank were in relation to Palestine. And so did she start recording when she heard that and it didn't sit well with her, or like what? Or did she go to Liz with the recording? Like, it's still a lot of questions. Until we hear the recording, we'll know. We'll be able to better get a grasp of like where she was, what time period it was, depending on how much is talked about. But it seems like there might be 25 minutes of it. I'm wondering, are they going to play the full 25 minutes or just the snippets? Is she just providing snippets, or are we going to get the full call? That's another thing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If we're going to get the full call or just the snippets. Let's see. Ooh, we're doing some Bible talk tonight. I didn't expect it, but let's see what Sammy has to say. Thank you, Sammy, for your support. You are upset over someone being wrong. Jesus in the Bible told men to pluck out their eyes if they couldn't keep their eyes to themselves. Yeah. I mean, I'm still going hard for Baldoni and Wayfarer and all that because I do feel like they were wronged, and like the more I dig into like the past, like even Claire's past and the things that she says about her past and her people, like one of the things that DFJ is her Roman Empire. She's like, she made these people wait 4 years. She literally said she'd have a turnaround of a month for this script. And then she just put it away because they said something that she didn't agree with because they told her she had too many women in it. And then later she admits that that's why she put more like men in it or whatever, like a non-binary character because of that feedback. So I'm like, well, then it wasn't bad feedback. So I know DFJ always says like that's her Roman Empire. Like, how dare she take 4 years off and leave people hanging like that? People have off themselves over false accusations. Yeah, what she is doing is vile. Such a waste of judicial resources that people with real legal battles deserve, and the 107 cc's she bullied. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like as the months go by, like I totally forgot about the dang subpoena. I mean, what she put Perez through, like time away from his kids and all that. Andy, who's still going through all that. I believe he's got his coming up. Yeah, it's crazy. And there was a thing where they were saying that Gottlieb and all them were taking advantage and just like funneling money out from Blake and Ryan because her case, like she has no case or whatever, after the Drake case got dropped, which I guess Drake is going to appeal. And people are like, Gottlieb is just, sucking him dry for money or whatever. And I don't know. I agree, because the fact that Meryl is going to Andy's subpoena thing in Florida or whatever, she's going to be the one representing Blake there. We saw how bad Meryl did I saw, and I reported to you guys how bad Meryl did at the Perez trial, We know that she was dropped from Drake's team. She was no longer an attorney there, which I don't know why, but I mean, probably because she's not that good of an attorney. I mean, on paper, she looks great, but I mean, I saw her in full action and she was blubbering her way. Like, she tried to compliment the judge and was like, as a LA native, I'm sure you, and he's like, no. What do you mean as an LA? I mean, not LA, Las Vegas, as a Las Vegas native. And she's like, what do you mean Las Vegas native? Like, that has nothing to do with it. I'm just reading the law. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and then she was just blubbering her way through it. So I'm like, why would they put her on the Andy case? They should put somebody else on there, unless they're just like literally just milking her for money. Like, we know it's the nothing burger, but we're just going to have you fly me out there. Even though I think it's on a Zoom, we're calling them Van Shampires now. Oh, instead of bats, because yeah, a lot of people were like, but I love bats. Don't give bats a bad name. Yeah, all the bat lovers. I agree. Okay, Van Shampires. Oh, I see what you did there. DFJ, BL and Claire destroying victims every second. Yeah. And even like, Paul's catching some strays here too, because I saw him take down someone on X one day, like the person who had reported that another simple favor was going to be shelved, and then he replied to them and it all went viral, and then that guy's like whole X account got destroyed, and like he couldn't like make money off of it anymore. Like, he was monetized, I guess, and he disappeared from X. So that was another thing. I'm like, Paul also, it says this movie was such a great opportunity to shine a light on DV, and because of this woman, all of that was lost. And there's a thing, this is why I want to go back, y'all. Like, please, I want to go back with you guys, because there is a part where she texts somebody that I read recently, where she texts somebody and she's like, he's not sticking to the plan and it's going to harm the movie because he's trying to stick to the DV thing. I'm like, what? How is that going to harm the movie? How is that going to harm the movie? Like, so there's been some parts that I've reread that I might have skipped over or forgotten. So that's why I want to go back with y'all. You're not a bad person for thinking they aren't great people. If you feel bad about it, a priest would probably tell you to do 10 Hail Marys for this. That's from Catholicism. No, well, I'm like, I do pray and just be like, sorry, like, forgive me for having those thoughts or whatever. And I try not to have them. I try to just, report the facts and stuff. But sometimes I do get snarky. Like today when I was like, you effing hypocrite. Like, I was so mad today at Blake. They do have to provide the full call. Okay, DFJ, then we're going to get the full thing. Yes, everyone's agreeing. We get the whole full thing. Yes, good luck to Andy. Shout out to Andy. His documentary is coming out. I hope he does shine some light on the whole thing. He had to put a pause on that documentary, and so they succeeded in that because it was supposed to come out in August, the first 2 parts, I believe. Because I believe it's a 4-part series. The first 2 parts were going to come out in August, and he had to put a hold on it because, I mean, things just got spicier. I'm sure he's going to add all the Perez stuff in there, all of his stuff in there. Oh, thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you. See y'all tomorrow at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll see you guys on X or here. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow, but thank you, Tiffany. I'm doing the Russian goodbye because it's already about to be 9:30, but let me just get through some of these other comments. When does Blake sue her lawyers? And there's a theory that on Reddit right now that, like, how would you trust Claire? She secretly recorded someone else. How would you trust her not to secretly record you? And so they're like, I wonder if she has secretly recorded Blake and her attorneys. The managers told Claire they love it. Female empowerment is so in. She took that to be so offensive and told them 1 month until the next draft, but took 4 years. Entitled, privileged, zero self-awareness, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. And it's his movie. He gets to do what he wants, Blake. I mean, it was his movie. She was just an actress. Everyone's like, you're such a sweetie. You don't need to get mad. I mean, and I barely ever get mad. So when I get mad, that's why I'm like, y'all are pushing me to think like bad thoughts. Blake wanted to be Margot Robbie so bad, it probably killed her when America Ferrera was nominated for an Oscar. And the fact that it recently came out that in her contract or whatever, it was like, well, if I get an Oscar or whatever, they're going to pay me more. And honestly, she could have had a chance. As bad of an actress that she is, if she hadn't been worried about the wardrobe, okay? If she had let them do what they wanted with the wardrobe, they already had a plan. They already had this vision. The thing is that she kept calling it. And this is why I'm saying I want to go back, because I'm reading all these little paragraphs in the FAC and the SAC where she and the timeline info, where it's funny because this is just my theory, okay? Allegedly for entertainment purposes, that she talks about how the movie is just too TV. Remember when she's talking about the sexy beanie? Like, it's too TV without it. Like, they thought it was like too Hallmarky. That's my theory, that Blake went in there and was like, oh my God, this is like a made for TV movie. Like, it's too like preachy about DV, and like let's just make this fun. Let's bring some colors and more flowers and some booze. And because another thing is, in an interview that DFJ uncovered with Sarowitz too, he talks about alcohol and how bad alcohol is, how it's, caused so many car accidents and, like domestics and stuff, like how nothing good can come out of it, and how he's always tried to stay away from alcohol. And then all of a sudden they're bringing alcohol to all their marketing events. Like, I just saw the marketing at Wayfarer theaters for Empire Waste and for It Ends With Us, when Wayfarer did it in his theaters in Chicago, and Steve Sarowitz. And it was just like wholesome. Like, there was like little sunflowers for the It Ends With Us or whatever. Like, there was no booze and no like crazy stuff. They were over here trying to market all their stuff. They totally would have bought an Oscar. No, but I'm saying she might have been able to do it with the right, if she would have listened to her director and his guidance of like, okay, act like this or do this, because he had a vision for it. It could have been an Oscar-worthy performance. Although people say, oh, she can't act no matter what. But I feel like if she had just let Baldoni do his thing, that it could have come out, the film could have been nominated for an Oscar. But instead, the editing of it wasn't what Baldoni had envisioned, the story that he wanted to envision. It's like she wanted to make it about Lily Bloom so bad that the rest of the story, it was just her and her stilettos and stuff. The rest of the story got bypassed. And even the young Lily stuff got bypassed. There is no such thing as coincidences, says Malawala. Yeah, she should have just focused on her acting and let Justin do his thing, because he could have made it amazing. She should have at least been nominated if she worried. Yeah, I think that he would have made a good movie. I honestly do think. He directed, I believe, 2 episodes of Jane the Virgin, and they were pretty good, because I remember in the beginning I went to go watch them like back in January. Yeah, if she had waited to market it, the hair care and the booze, it would have been better. Yeah, the fact that she attached it to the movie as like one big package, it didn't go. But her clown costumes and CL Red Bottom Heels made it a joke. Yeah. And I just watched an interview with the costume guy, who was her costume guy, I guess, for Gossip Girl or whatever. And just like, and some of it kind of made sense, but it's like, how are we supposed to know that? Like, it was like the storytelling, because he's like, oh, the one outfit where she was wearing like the double pants or whatever, and then that like quilty jacket. He's like, it's about like the stories that we tell, and like this is a vintage quilted thing that's been made throughout the years. So the relevance is like your past becomes you, and like all these like mental gymnastics. And it's like, how are we supposed to know the background of the dang outfits to like make that connection, to be like, oh, okay, that outfit made sense? Like, no, like it was literally doing mental gymnastics on it. Like, this symbolizes this, which symbolizes, it was Charlie Day, but for like fashion. Yeah, I feel like the film is probably ruined for him now. I totally see them getting a Golden Globe if they would have let him do his thing. Yeah. And even if she felt that it was too Hallmarky, that was the type of movie it was. It was a Hallmarky type of movie. It was like, it had some serious themes into it. And what he wanted people to get out of it was like, not why don't people leave, but why do men do it? And then that concept just never came through in the film. So yeah, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys. I was really excited about the Barnard College connection, so I hope you guys were too. I hope you guys were like, oh my gosh, T. Because I hadn't seen it anywhere, as far as I seen it with the Liman stuff, but I hadn't seen it anywhere as far as the connection to Claire. So Athena Film Festival, Barnard College. Let me know in the comments if y'all think, hey, this has some legs. If it has legs or no legs, if it has a body. She says, I don't think JB got the message he was trying to convey with the movie. His passion for sending out messages might outweigh his tainted movie. And it sucks because they made him like go into hiding and stuff, he hasn't been out. He hasn't been able to market his other films. I know he was briefly in the promo marketing materials for the senior, but he hasn't been able to be out. He wasn't at Cannes or whatever with ScarJo. And it really sucks because did you guys know that he started this company like on his own, Wayfarer on his own, and then Steve Sarowitz came on after as like the funder because he was just like trying to get money to fund positive, faith-filled movies and like good that left people like feeling good. Because Steve Sarowitz does an interview where he's like, I get tired of all these films that like, ooh, they make people feel bad and like, you know, all these themes of violence and stuff. And like in his theaters, he only watches like feel good films. And that's what I love about their partnership with Angel Studios, because that's one of my favorite. I watch a lot of Angel Studio films. It's one of my favorite studios. You guys should check out some of their movies. They make you feel really, really good watching them. Bye, Sammy. Her headphone battery is dead. I know. I'm like doing like the Russian goodbye. I just keep thinking of other things to talk about. But yeah, Angel Studios has a lot of feel good films. That's who's doing the senior. I remember I told you guys I was gonna go watch Eleanor the Great and the senior, and I did get to watch Eleanor the Great, and then I got bit up by mosquitoes in between the two movies, and I had to go home because my hand swelled up. I remember texting Laura a picture. I look like Mr. Crump, not Mr. Crump. Is it Crump? From what is that movie with Eddie Murphy? It's not Norbit. I always say it's Norbit, but it's the other one. My hand like swelled up like a balloon. Like it was so crazy from just mosquito bites. So let me just play this real quick for you guys as an outro. I'm gonna play this. And this is a little edit I did last night, or yeah, it was last night because I was feeling like really icky and bad and like just like they just left the ick. Let me play it on X because it plays better on X. Okay. But if you guys don't follow me over on TikTok real quick, let me plug my TikTok. It's cjournalist24. I've got a couple edits. That's one of my other passions is I love editing. So these are all made by me, all these edits. There's an Eagles one in there too. This is one of my favorites, is one that I made when everybody got subpoenaed. But y'all go check out some of my edits that I've done on this case. And then some like on Drake and Easter eggs for Taylor Swift or whatever. But yeah, go follow me on TikTok if you aren't already following me over there. And I sometimes go live over there with Bocce Go Hawks. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, so here's what we're gonna go outro. I said a little late night edit for those who have been in the Claire Ayoub and Blake Lively's dark trenches, aka the Batcave. Shining a light on darkness is what citizens are out here doing for Justin Baldoni. Keep moving and growing. So we're gonna play that for you guys, and then I'll come back on to say bye to y'all. Wait, it's not on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I gotta put it up. Let me put it up. Remove. Let me put this up. Wait, view tab on X. Okay. Can y'all see it? Let me put myself down here. All right, so y'all can see it. All right, guys. This is a little edit. Hope y'all enjoy it. Is there no sound? Okay, thank you. There's no sound. Okay, hold on. That means I gotta undo it and then redo it. Thank you, DFJ, for pointing that out. Let me remove it from the stage, and then I gotta add it again. Thank you, DFJ. That was a quick one. Let me add it to the stage again. All right, let me know if there's sound now.
Lord, you save my soul, my chains been broken. When I was at my lowest, you showed me I am chosen, and I'll take all this time to get it right, fulfill your purpose. 'Cause Lord, you save my soul, my chains have been my
All right, y'all. That
soul.
was my little song. It's actually a cover of Kalani's Folded. It's a gospel version, so I won't get copyrighted. It's not officially like on any stream. It's just a TikTok sound. Thank you, Kaoli. You saw the video. Yeah, I have it on X. It's up on YouTube and it's on TikTok. So show it a like, leave a comment if you guys see it because it helps the algorithm and it's real positive energy. And I love the song that says, "I'll let the Bible decide which way I'm moving and growing," which is basically like have some morals and that's the way I move. So I'm gonna try and move that way from now on. When it comes to this case, but there'll be times where it does get to me because we're dealing with like really dark energies here. So thank you so much, Patricia, for the beautiful video. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Thanks to the mods, DFJ and Christina. And with that, we will see you guys on the next one.